Welcome to the Library of Humanity. Today is a spiritual cleansing day. Today is January 2nd. So, what does that mean? There's been like 10 straight days of family and culture and eating meat and drinking beer and things like that. So, it's been a very, very positive 10 days, but it is a little bit toxic on your spiritual life in the sense that you're returning to your ego like almost 100% over the holidays, because when you're with I would say your family and around a lot of alcohol and dessert and a lot of like football and advertisements, and a lot of it is it's really good for your ego to experience family in the holidays, but it's kind of detrimental, or it slows your spirituality down a little bit. So on January 2nd, my idea here is to, well, first of all, I'm not working today, so that's a huge positive. The second positive is I have nothing planned today and nor tomorrow. So the idea today is completely detoxify and cleanse my body and cleanse my spirit, and do some exercises and have a diet in which I can try to enter into the true self for almost the entire day. So I have some strategies for doing that. I'm not saying that you need to follow these strategies. This is a description and not a prescription. But what I did is this morning, I'm actually just starting my day. So this morning, I had a very light breakfast. I just had toast with a little bit of peanut butter and honey, and then orange juice. And I actually took an L-theanine. I'm not sure if you know what L-theanine is. I can write that down here. I have a video on L-theanine. L-theanine. And what L-theanine does is it puts you into a mindfulness state. L-theanine. And the idea is it really cleanses you and puts you into mindfulness throughout most of the day. I might take two of them. I took 200 milligrams of L-theanine. And then I took a shower. That's skin cleanse. But then the rest of the day, what I have planned is some spiritual exercises. So first, I'm probably going to do 45 minutes of yoga to stretch the body. And what yoga does is it releases a lot of blockages in your muscles, and it really puts you into this mindfulness state, and it makes you feel really happy. So and that's called hatha yoga. So how most people in our culture talk about yoga, it's technically hatha yoga. There are many, many different types of yoga, and I'll probably do like 2 or 3 different types. But first, I'm going to do kind of the physical posture type yoga. Next, I plan on doing some shamanic breathing. Shamanic breathing is a technique I learned from actualize.org. And what that is you lie on the floor and you put some chapstick on your lips, because you need to breathe with your mouth open. So you're breathing from your stomach as much as you can. And what you do is your in-breath is strong, and then your out-breath is strong. And your in-breath and out-breath are the same pace. And some people can do that for almost an hour, which you have to work up to that. But I don't do shamanic breathing normally, so I plan on my goals to maybe do 10 minutes straight, but I'll probably only be able to do about 5 to 6 minutes, because it's a very, very advanced technique, spiritual technique. And what that does is it kind of enters you into parts of your body that you haven't entered into before. And what I mean by you is your awareness, your consciousness. So in psychology, they teach you that you have your consciousness and then your subconsciousness. What your subconsciousness is basically your body and the shadow side of yourself. From Carl Jung talks about the shadow. And the shadow is the bad parts of you, or kind of like the nightmarish parts of you that you suppress. Like, no, that's not me. Like, you think, for example, well, I would never steal. But a lot of people steal, if you are honest. And you say, like, well, maybe there would be a time in my life where I would steal something. And that's very, very normal. So you have to just accept kind of the dark sides of yourself. So that's And those sentiments or those feelings is what shamanic breathing can help introduce into your awareness. And also, it just puts you into a very mindful state. So I plan on doing that. I plan on sitting Zen meditation, maybe a couple times. So Zen, what Zen is it brings you completely into your consciousness, and it kind of puts you in the zone per se, towards the outside world and your quote unquote inside world, your mind. And what it does is, like, the outside world seems to slow down, and then your mind seems to slow down. And you sit on a cushion in Zen, and you keep your eyes open, but you don't look at anything. You're actually just looking, but not at anything. And then your consciousness is awake, but not towards any object or idea. So the ideas in your mind and the thoughts in your mind are just floating, but then you can easily cut them away. Like, okay, that thought, that's a thought, and then you cut it at its root, kind of like a weed. So when you're in Zen, the thoughts are like weeds, and you just try to cut them off. And so Zen really helps you calm your mind and calm your spirit, so that you can enter into the true self. And normally I sit Zen for 35 or 40 minutes. I plan on doing that twice. Another practice I do is alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing is you breathe in with one nostril and you breathe out with the other. And then you breathe in with that same one and you breathe out with this one. Okay, so alternate nostril breathing is called pranayama, and pranayama is a yoga strategy or a practice, and it would be more advanced than the yoga I'm going to do this morning, where I'm doing postures. But the yoga with pranayama is a little bit more advanced. That's called kriya yoga. So I might do 35 minutes of kriya yoga as well. And that should really, really put me in the zone of right here, right now, true self, beautiful now moment. So that's the goal. Probably in between those practices, the idea is to not use the internet very much, not check my phone, not go anywhere, not drive, no masturbation today. It's very important to cleanse everything by not focusing on your your bodily needs too much. And yes, my diet. So my diet, like I said, I had a pretty light breakfast with just a piece of toast, and I plan on having only one more meal, and that meal is just going to be raw vegetables and with a little bit of hummus. So I'm gonna dip that. So I'm just gonna have broccoli, mushrooms, tomatoes, and green peppers. Gonna dip that in hummus. So then my whole day is vegan, but also I'm just eating 2 very light meals. And so, because the idea is to not overeat. Overeating really, really takes you out of the zone, and when you don't just have the right amount to eat, when you just have enough, your mind is really here. Your consciousness is really here now in the true self. And of course, eating vegan helps with that. I don't eat vegan the whole year. Like I said, I eat meat. Also, I drink alcohol. I enjoy beer. I really like IPA beer. But I don't really overdo it unless it's like a holiday, like New Year's Eve or July 4th or something like that, or someone's wedding. But normally, I only have 1, 2, or 3. It's because when you drink too much alcohol, of course, you can't be in the zone. But I find that having 1, 2, or 3 sometimes helps you maybe relax a little bit and just kind of be a normal citizen, kind of, because a lot of people drink alcohol, so you still want to live a normal life. And that's the same with my theory on eating meat. I eat meat like once a day or a couple times a week, and I don't really eat red meat. I eat chicken or turkey. I eat fish sometimes, and the idea is because you want to be kind of a normal person in our society. You don't want to attach to this, like, I'm different than everybody else. That's very egoic when you're attaching to this. I'm vegan, I'm different from most people, or I'm special, or I'm unique. But having a little bit of meat is healthy, and it's important for your diet. And also, it kind of makes you feel like a normal human being. So that's very important. Um, I think that's mostly what I'm going to do today. But like I said, it's a cleansing from technology, from culture. So the main thing with technology is you're actually detoxifying yourself, or you're cleansing yourself from culture, because culture is very toxic towards your spirituality, because it tries to teach you to be an ego, and not just that, but like a low consciousness ego. Like when you're watching a lot of commercials, commercials really make you feel like a robot, or like a consumer, right? But today you're not a consumer. You are a dignified being or person. You're even more than a person today. If you do some of these exercises for the whole day and take a real vacation. I also have a video on my channel called Take a Real Vacation. And the idea is you are a soul and a spirit for the whole day. And it's actually gonna be very hard. One thing I didn't mention is it's very, very hard to detoxify. Your ego doesn't want you to detoxify, doesn't want you to cleanse. Your thoughts are going to enter your mind like, oh, I should eat some meat, or I should have a beer, or I should have a coffee. That's another thing I didn't mention is having no caffeine, or maybe just a little bit of green tea. That's it. Not on a day of cleansing. Caffeine really makes you anxious, and not just in a bad way, but anxiety, and that kind of makes you want to go and do things. But today we're being and not doing. So I would recommend trying a day like this, maybe a couple times a year. You can even do it for more than one day in a row. That would be pretty ideal if you take a week vacation at some point, maybe twice during the year. You take a week, and one of those weeks you spend 5 days in silence. So that's another thing is I'm not going to be talking very much. Only in this video I plan on doing a lot of talking, but I plan on not listening to music. Maybe a little bit of like classical Indian music where it's just the sitar, or a little bit of binaural beats where you have just like those kind of beats where it's. And I listen to gamma waves, or because beta waves are the ones that put you into this zone where you want to go and do and do and do, but gamma waves are the opposite. So gamma waves are like the really, really slow ones, I believe. But anyways, they put you into the spiritual zone. So yeah, no music, not a lot of communication, no texting, no social media. But for me, I'm making this video, but that's for the cases of you, not for me. So this is actually bringing out my ego quite a bit when I make videos, because I'm like this guy over here making a video, even though there's really in the absolute there is nobody here. There is no person here making this video. It's just it's kind of like the universe talking to itself about itself. That's really what, if you analyze what YouTube videos are, it's just what they are. But you can especially see that in kind of spiritual, non-duality kind of videos where it's like, it's me, it's like the universe talking to the universe about the universe. So it's just the universe reawakening to itself. So that should be it. I'm gonna go ahead and do some yoga and stretch, and then do some shamanic breathing and really get into that zone. Then I'm going to sit Zen, and then I'm going to do some Kriya Yoga, and then I'm not going to eat any meat, no alcohol, just being here. If you have questions, comment below. If you like the video, click the like. I'll see you next time. My next video I plan on is doing on Stoicism, so I had a friend ask me about Stoicism. So that is going to be a philosophical school or theory that will help us deal with our emotions and being here right now. Peace.